Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bragaton. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything here on Vivos, and then I guess return to Dargonus.
Cast your eye there.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
The sacred engine meant to work in the quarry has not been used for a long time.
Keep your wits about you.
They're gone. Learn as my witness. We will find these blasphemous wretches and make them pay for everything that happened here. Alright, we've seen that one before.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Scorpion Sting. Seen both of those, so nothing new there. A massive crusher designed to extract ore from rocks is covered with a thick layer of dust and rubble. So I wonder if the dust is from disuse or from drilling into rocks.
Is there money to be made?
Because between that and this sacred engine over here, the clues seem to indicate that they haven't done mining here in a long time. But the way that
I always
Governor
have a backup
Drivestem was
plan.
talking was this was a pretty recent problem. So I wonder if he knew the Drukhari were here and set us up. Oh cool, we have a new colony. Alright, punishment of the thinkers. Debo 6 needs new convicts. Various dangerous literates and idle thinkers could supplement the workforce. Enemy of knowledge. Punishment of the outsiders. So Vibo 6 needs new convicts. The quarries can be filled with prisoners taken from foreign worlds. Or punishment by calculation. Vibo 6 needs new convicts. Purchasing foreign criminals is a potential solution to this problem. So I really like this one. I think this is the best upgrade out of the lot. But this one seems most in line with my character. Because the Imperium does love its ignorance, so I think we'll go with Punishment of the Thinkers. So Vibo 6 needs new convicts. Various dangerous literates and idle thinkers could supplement the workforce. We'll get Enemy of Knowledge. Grants plus 5% damage against Psychers and Navigators. Bunch of reputation with the Drusians. Minus 2 complacency, but 2 plasteel and 2 chemicals. Yeah, Holy Servitude, I think, is the most roleplay fitting. Though we don't really need reputation with the Drusians anymore, so it's a little suboptimal. But we're going to do that anyway. To provide the Drusians with convicts as pilgrims for the Arks. We'll get Vigilance. A marvelous compact weapon in the form of a ring that allows the wearer to use Melt-a-Scorching area attack once per combat. Plus 3 profit factor and 2500 reputation with the Drusians. Alright, improved injector. User gains corrals temporary wounds from combat stimulants, and the first use of any combat stimulant per turn costs 0 AP. And stun grenades. So we could head back to Dargonus. So we got this contract from Vibo 6 as well. Alright, so we need to waste time anyway. I want to continue doing projects for Vibo 6, so that gives us something to do. Alright, Inspection Master. A captain who calls himself the Master Inspector is in the market for human merchandise. This peculiar character has repeatedly shown up on footfall to buy serfs, criminals, and unfortunates detained for vagrancy. Where he takes them is unknown, but his coffers seem bottomless. So 7 people for 3 profit factor? Sure. During the period designated as the night shift, the air throughout the ship suddenly turned stale. Those who were awake reported feeling incredibly tired. Those who were asleep later reported having horrible nightmares. The Xenos Owlcat, one of the Lord Captain's personal retinue, was found delirious in one of the ship's bays. She was screaming in her unholy language, her arms raised high above her head, as if she was trying to keep the sky from falling. The enforcers were unable to free her from the trance. 2 who attempted to move Owlcat were attacked and died instantly. The Xenos regained awareness about 10 hours later. She explained that she had seen her homeworld of Cruderak collapsing around her, and she had been the only one able to hold up its walls. She added that no Monkai should ever touch her again without permission, and that in the future, she would deal with the call of the warp on her own. The Materium released us from its grip this time. Alright, so Yanis is done now. Yeah, so we can't do these yet because we don't have enough reputation with either one of those. We're a good ways off. Lord Captain, a disturbing report has come from the quarries of Vibo 6. The slave laborers have lost their minds. They forget how to use tools, they huddle together and continue to stare aimlessly into space, even under the lashes of the whips, ruining the mining deadlines. Some people get obsessed with using their nails to clout the blasphemous symbols on the tools, on machines, and even on their own bodies. The most mad have painted the walls of several mines from floor to ceiling with the symbols and then gone off deep into the mining tunnels. None of them could be found. The wardens consider it a performance that divert attention away from the escapes and an impending rebellion. What are those symbols being scratched out by the slaves? It is hard to give these drawings any sort of intelligible definition. Unnaturally round circles connected by lines. The lines are interrupted by groups of dots. The patterns can sometimes follow some sort of logic and sometimes be unique. I can provide pics of them. After examining the pict, you realize that the symbols are connected through a strange logical sequence. What do my advisors have to say? Spotting an intriguing pattern in the drawing of the symbols left by the prisoners. Hypothesis: they have a practical purpose. Requesting access to the mines and the right to investigate the specimen for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Disappearing prisoners. What is the point of running away from penal servitude if the entire world is a prison cell? No, Shireen. These Ashmags have found some sort of smuggling tunnel network and are hiding there. And the drawings are their secret language, which they use to give orders to their fellow prisoners. I know some guys who can find such secret places and decipher these languages. If the slaves will continue to disappear for no reason, then unrest will soon follow, whether out of fear of disappearing themselves, or out of hope for the possibility of escape. To stifle this, we have to put pressure on the slaves' leaders. My experience suggests that such people can hold more sway than any warden. Alright, so I'm thinking option 5. So we could get Expert Cryptographer from Pascal. All allies gain +7 logic. The Road Trader servants have succeeded in identifying and studying the patterns in the peculiar drawings made by convicts on Vibo 6. Jai will give us a peculiar trinket. At the start of the wearer's turn, they gain temporary wounds. When the wearer's wounds drop to 0, they fall prone and gain 10% of their maximum wounds as temporary wounds. The wearer becomes their priority target of adjacent enemies. While prone, if the wearer has no other allies with more than 0 wounds, they and their allies die. On the wearer's next turn, they regain 30% of their wounds if they still have temporary wounds. This effect activates only once per round, but possibly multiple times per combat. And Abelard gives us Watchdogs of Vibo 6. Harsh Overseers drive the crew in battle. Flagship gains +3 speed for the first round. Oh, sorry, I didn't read. Abelard is right. Have the slave foremen stopped this mess, or else they were going to regret it. I have no pity for those who have been exiled to a penal world for atonement, and yet continue to create disorder all around themselves. Exhausted by sophisticated interrogations, the prisoner foremen have been ordered to exterminate anyone who shows any signs of insanity. The purge has wiped out many workers, but the disappearances and strange phenomena have stopped. That's what you get for thinking. Alright, I guess we'll do underground workers. Gigantic machines will vaporize the rock in their path, carrying the way to the most valuable mineral deposits. The serf clans operating them will never again see the sun, nor will their descendants. We get 3 plasteel at the cost of 1 mechanism. We're just gonna go right past Dargonus. Just keep hopping around till we get a message from Dargonus, and we finish the projects on the colony.
Let us not dawdle. Your heresy ends here.
The Emperor is with us! God, Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart!
Benji!
The scriptural prognosis is favorable. My vow is to serve. The Omnissiah knows all.
You've got a problem, I've got a prize. Faith without deeds is worthless. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Doubt is for the weak.
Don't get too cocky.
Nice. I'm not going to use this yet because the enemies are so far away. I don't think it would pay off.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. Get me a target.
Your reckoning is due. I won't object to it.
Nice.
Accept it! Embrace it!
Quick, quick!
I can handle this.
This way!
I will bathe
I have an
this
idea.
battlefield in righteous fury.
Then run and gun, and then we take out these three guys. We could probably even hit... Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Let's do this.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Oh, good job, Argenta.
Don't touch
She's
me.
finally carrying a fight. Heinrichs is not. I mean, Heinrichs is going
I don't
to,
need
but...
luck. I have strategy. I won't stand for it. I'll make it happen.
Nothing he can really do here, so... Just hang tight.
For now.
Give in to sensation!
Activate calculated fury algorithm. Running binary override.
I can do that with the right incentive. Am I getting paid for this?
The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Tell me, and it is done.
Oh, you're no fun.
Far better than I was expecting.
Let's see to it.
But of course, Lord Captain.
Oh, he's the last guy. Alright, cool.
I always keep my options open.
Awesome, Argento was the
Rise to
MVP
the
once
top,
again.
or get
It's been a
left in the
while.
dust.
But when the dominoes fall into place... Alright, now let's do Dreamless. The convicts will be of much greater use if they are kept from sleeping by employing a small augmentation. +2 efficiency at the cost of 1 chemical. Fantastic. Jump over here and keep jumping back and forth. Lord Captain, our astropaths received a message from Achilles Scalander on Dargonus. He closely studied the data from the incursion on Vivo 6, including the mention of the Xenos leaders. He promised to direct the efforts of his aides to identify those enemies of humanity, so their location can be determined. Master Scalander is also reporting the Drukhari are getting ready for more attacks on new territory. Information from his aides continues to arrive, and Achilles will personally report to you the moment the target for the upcoming raid becomes clear. The Drukhari excel at catching their opponents off guard, and there'll be little time to mount a response. According to Master Scalander, your personal participation in the defense would be the best strategy, given the circumstances. You say so. Sounds like a trap to me. Do we know where the attacks are coming from yet? Oh, whoops, I meant to do my, colony management. Lord Captain, this is Master Helmsman Bravor. The crew is grumbling again, but they have a right reason this time. Our analytic systems have gone totally bonkers. The Red Robes, excuse me, tech priests are blaming the anger of the machine spirits. Allegedly, this is how they profess their displeasure at the crew not being worshipful. We have largely managed to stabilize the output of the augurs and auspexes across the ship, but you should know there is something awfully sketchy about the machines these days. I can confirm, Lord Captain. The vessel's analytic systems were behaving incorrectly for a time. The cogitators cannot produce statistical data and displayed meaningless numeric combinations instead. The augurs failed to correctly analyze matter and mistook solids for liquids and vice versa. Thanks to the tech priest's efforts, standard operation of the ship's mechanisms has been restored. I am still registering sporadic reports of similar malfunctions. We should now be able to handle them. Okay. Next project, warp guides. There's a rumor that there are several warp guides among the convicts, unsanctioned semblances of navigators. Maybe worth it to hunt them down and press them into service. +2 security. No requirements either. So we had something at Dargonus. So we'll head over there. And we should be able to do our next colony upgrade. Alright, so we have Envirodome or Ergonomics. The Envirodome. The mining complexes are becoming overcrowded with convicts. The massive crystal flex domes whose filtration altars purify the water and air will fit far more workers. And Ergonomics. The mining complexes are getting crowded. Individual pods and tranquilizers for the convicts could solve the problem. Neither one stand out roleplay-wise. So, I will fear no poison feature. All allies gain +5 corrals and suffer -10% toxic damage. That should be good if we're fighting Drukhari. An absolute efficiency, all allies gain +5 commerce and +4% hit chance. So everyone knows the rogue trader's eagerness to succeed using the most efficient ways possible. And Megos Toxicus of Vibo 6, of course, responsible for the purity of the climate domes, presented the rogue trader with a welcome gift of consecrated rebreather filters and poison resistance medicaments. I guess this one. Plus the name of it I think is more fitting for my character. I will fear no poison. So we'll get that feature, +2 complacency, +2 security. It'll cost 3 plasteel, 1 mechanism, and 1 adamantine. Lord Captain, we received an astropathic message from Dargonus. Achilles Galander reports a Xenos raid against a merchant ship in the silence of Mer Segret. The coordinates of a hypothetical contact have been forwarded to the crew. If you wish to support your subjects and fight back against the Xenos personally, we must hurry. It is unlikely that a merchant ship will be able to resist the enemies of humanity for long. Okay. But more importantly, did we finish this? Yeah. Lord Captain, the mines of Evo 6 are once again in turmoil. At the depths of level MD Zeta 05, the warders, I think it should be the wardens, have discovered a mountain of mutilated bodies, as if crushed by the millstones of the mining machines. All the dead are convicts. The guards believe that there is a cult of heretics operating in the ranks of slaves, offering human sacrifices. The convicts themselves claim that this atrocity was committed on the order of the superintendent to rid the prison of the more inconvenient prisoners. The superintendent tried to reason with the mob of slaves, but was mauled instead. His desecrated remains were found inside the cells where the prisoners were being tortured during the interrogation of the strange convicts. The wardens have managed to isolate the rebels inside the mining facilities, but an assault would result in high losses of workforce. On the other hand, the slaves are ready to lay down their weapons, cease this violence, and repent if the rogue trader would only demonstrate some compassion toward their plight, possibly by reforming some of the more severe punishments. Then who killed those people that were found in the mines? Unknown. The riot made the investigation more difficult. Maybe it was the work of the superintendent. Maybe there is, say, a cell of the cult of the Final Dawn operating among the prisoners. But there is an oddity on the few picks that the wardens have managed to scrounge together. Using your imagination a little, you can see a certain pattern in the scattered bodies. One that is remotely similar to the one these difficult prisoners had been drawing. It's possible that Drukhari is still on the planet. Drukhari can be very difficult to find if they don't want to be found. Especially when they have, like, mandrakes and stuff with them. Which are a very unique creature in 40k. Because no one really knows how they're made or where they come from. But they move in the shadows, and I think they get their powers from another dimension, it's speculated, that's not real space or the warp. It's like the shadow dimension. What thank you, my officers and advisors. Shireen, the governor and a pack of wardens cannot handle their duties, so they not take the place of their wards. And could there not be worthy administrators among those who oppose them, those who could do better? A mob of commoners has mauled a noble man who had been attempting to reason with them. How awful. Perhaps the underground madness has spread among them and assumed a new form, turning them into monsters in the process. It would be cruel to kill them if this is the case. It is much more humane to dissect their brains in order to well-meaningly reduce their ferocity and inclination toward disobedience. It had once been done by my house when the serfs had rebelled in their ignorance. A rather merciful step. Alright, so we can do this. It'll give us +1 complacency, +1 efficiency. And Mercy to the Fallen. The Rogue Trader gains +2 resolve. That's really, really good. Everyone knows the nobility of the Rogue Trader's spirit. So that's Jai's suggestion. And this one is the downgrade to Jai's suggestion. This is Cassia's. A Scourge of Evo 6. Allies gain +3% critical hit chance. Everyone knows the ruthlessness of the Rogue Trader. This one's Keen Mind. I'm guessing that one's probably Adira would give us an alternative. So allies gain +3% dodge reduction against enemies and -1 complacency. So I'm going to choose a very suboptimal choice here. I'm going to do option 6. We're going to have to tolerate rebellions on our planet. It's the downgrade to this one. We're going to lose 1 complacency, but roleplay-wise, it makes the most sense. So exterminate all the bastards that dare to rebel against me. Preserve Evo 6 and the Von Valancius dynasty. Several thousand of the slaves that actively partook in the riot and the superintendent's murder have been smoked out with gas, seized, and executed, cremated in the fires of the Foundry Press in front of other convicts. The interrogation also did not yield any information to help identify the one behind the murders that sparked the riot. Level MD Zeta 05 has been sealed. And we got an Envirodome. Alright, 3 options here. We have Test of Wills. There are now more convicts than work. The surplus can be expelled from their quarries. Over time, they will run wild and harden, and from them it will be possible to select fighters for service. It's very, Space Marine worldy. The Space Marines have planets that they recruit from, and they usually have very difficult trials for potential recruits. And this reminds me of that. We have Blood Sports. There are now more convicts than work. Gladiatorial arenas will recycle this surplus to the delight of visiting aristocrats. Ooh, what's this? That's two-handed. And Killing Fields, which we can't do because we didn't do ergonomics. There are now more convicts than tasks to fulfill. The quarries extracting Physaline sand are rightfully called Killing Fields. They'll consume any amount of living labor. So I think Test of Wills. We'll get Unerring Shots. The Cannoneers recruited from the warlike tribes of Evo 6 are noted for their outstanding marksmanship as true hunters. Torpedoes deal plus 15% more damage, which I think is overkill since torpedoes tend to one-shot most enemy ships anyway. We get +2 security for all colonies and 6 people. What does this do? No unique description here. This one, superior munitions. Our allies gain +5 ballistic skill and +5% damage to their range attacks. That's pretty good. And the Rogue Trader's munitions are produced with Physaline of the highest quality. But yeah, Test of Wills is the way to go. Alright, so to Dargonus. We're going to try and knock out whatever event is there next time. And then we have to go to the Silence of Sir Megrit for more Drukhari stuff. But cool, got a lot more done than I was expecting to. By the time we get to the Silence of Sir Megrit, Vibos' project should be done. Oh yeah, and we got a couple new items. I don't think I'm going to use this. I think it'd be fine with someone like maybe Cassia. Yeah, swap that out with the needle ring. And then maybe give her the needle ring. Actually, those are pretty good. I don't need to lean into the toxic damage that much. Also, I think we have an upgrade. So we got the blast pistol. Dark Light Blast. It's a short ray of dark light piercing all creatures in a line. I think we swapped that out for the shuriken pistol because she has pretty pathetic weapons right now. I thought we found a better splinter pistol, or one that does toxic damage. Oh, we had a better shuriken pistol anyway. I haven't tried to upgrade her stuff in so long. I guess that'll do. Looks a little difficult to one hand, but I guess I don't know how much Drukhari or Eldari weapons weigh. Oh, it's not a... That's definitely a Xenos weapon. Where would it be listed at? Okay, yeah, Drukhari weapon proficiency. Alright, to make sure she's actually utilizing her Xenos weapon proficiencies. Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Next time we will deal with Dargonus and begin the journey to the Silence of Sir Megret. But for now, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.